This Jay Muse.
This is Eddie McClintock from Warehouse 13.
Hey, this is Brian Holler.
This is Brett Dolph.
Hey, this is Eddie Trunk, and you're listening to Beer Bros and BS.
Beers Bros BS.
Beer Bros and BS.
Beer Bros and BS.
You should be listening to Beer Bros and BS every day, every minute for the rest of your lives.
Snooch to the nooch.
Welcome to another edition, episode 30 of Beer Bros and BS. I'm Dave, the Big Librarian. As always, we got some, well, not like always. We got some whales of ales here tonight. I'm joined with
Jose,
Alex,
and Daniel.
The first beer we're going to have is brought to us by Jose.
I brought today the Sardo Numsta from Cigar City Brewing.
I brought Pliny the Elder from Russian River Brewing.
Oh, shit. I brought Dark Lord from Floyds, the 2015 version.
And I brought Nikolai Vorlov from Funky Buddha.
Right on.
So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit more about this first beer, Jose?
Okay, this beer is a hazelnut German. It's hazelnut with cacao nibs and aged in cypress wood. Or actually, no, brewed with cypress wood. I'm sorry. It's an Imperial Stout. It's by Cigar City. It has been a pretty recent release, I would say. I think they released it like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It hit the store shelves. Sardo Numsta is inspired by Devil Foods cake, so it's like a German chocolate cake. And
it's awesome, man.
Yeah, it
my God,
it tastes
so rich and delicious.
Yeah, I know. It tastes like the. Remember the Angry Cherries German chocolate cake? Like
Honestly, I like this better.
Yeah.
I think this is richer. It tastes a lot richer. The carbonation is fantastic. The head on this is great.
I always like the mouthfeel
on
their Imperial Stouts, how they do it.
Absolutely.
It's a little thicker than everybody else's.
Yeah, it is a little talk about head and mouthfeel.
I know, and then thicker.
It's got good head and good mouthfeel.
Yeah, quite a bit of girth on this one. It's real. It leaves you with a real creamy finish.
Yeah.
But seriously, it is awesome, man. I love this beer. I tried it for the first time the other day, and I'm very happy to have it again. And I hope that they make this a regular occurrence because it's really good.
Yeah, this is my first time having the beer, and it's pretty good. It's delicious.
Yeah, I think the cypress wood kind of complements the bitterness of the cacao nibs.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really interesting. Delicious.
And even the color, it's almost cherry, like a dark beige cherry hue to it. The head, at least.
Yeah, the head is a wonderful color.
Yeah, it's not as dark as MZ, like Marcel Zukov, but
it's good.
Pretty brown.
Yeah, it's a really nice shade of brown, definitely. I was looking at it under light just now, and it does have like a reddish kind of tint. It's really cool.
So before we get started, let me ask you guys, let's play a round of Would You Rather. So this is a quick one. Would you rather be assaulted by a sexual predator or the predator?
I feel like I could fight off a sexual predator. The predator, not so much.
Like you two guys, what about you?
Do I have Arnold Schwarzenegger by my side?
Sure.
Okay, I guess I'd rather go for the predator.
But what if the actual predator still wants to fuck you?
Actually,
What
never
if
mind.
the predator is a sexual predator?
Yeah, never mind. I'll go for the sexual predator for named reasons that I guess I can fend off.
It depends. Is this a female sexual predator that's trying to attack me, or
Ooh.
another male?
Actually,
Good question.
Because sometimes
rape me.
Which makes me think of they have all these teacher and student-teacher relationships.
Man. Yeah,
and there
where
was
that back in the day.
Well, there was that one. Well, didn't you go to all boys school?
They were there.
Yeah,
They had
I didn't get to participate in any.
they had like Where Are They Now, and this was like 98 or something like that, and as of right now, the student married the teacher and they have kids.
Oh, wasn't that like some
Good for
Samoan
them.
boy or some shit? He was like Hawaiian or Samoan or
Yeah.
something. I think I've seen that story.
Pacific Islander.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice story.
He was probably related to The Rock. They all are.
Could you smell it?
I'm sure he smelled what she was cooking.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys: would you rather change your name to ISIS Trump or Barack Ebola? Dan is trying to comprehend this, and he's like,
The second one for sure.
Nah, ISIS Trump. Like ISIS might. It sounds like a more normal name than.
like an Egyptian goddess.
And with
Yeah.
Trump, you get great brand recognition. So
Yeah, exactly.
But Ebola? I mean,
Ebola.
it's kind of like,
Barack Ebola.
what's up, Barry Ebola? I mean, you could do without Barack. You could get around that, but Ebola?
Yeah,
There's,
Oh, I don't know.
They're-
Barack
they're-
Ebola kind of rolls off the tongue too, right?
I mean-
Barack Ebola. I don't know.
Rocky-
It almost sounds like Rocky Balboa.
yeah.
Just mispronouncing it.
Yeah, Rocky Balboa. Get the fuck out of here.
Rocky Bola.
Barack Ebola.
Baraki Bola.
Shit. That's a weird one, man.
Okay. Don't ask me how this would ever happen, but if it came down to it, would you eat your best friend's legs to survive?
Are they alive?
Yes.
So eat my living best friend's legs.
He'll survive too.
That's weird. No, I wouldn't want him to. That'd be an awkward relationship afterward.
Fuck you, man.
Dude,
Dan, would
remember
you
when
eat
you
my
ate my
legs
left
to
leg?
live? No, not your left leg. It's your left and right.
Oh, your legs.
Yeah.
What'd you hear?
Up to your knee.
Dude, that's a lot
So,
of fucking
so
meat.
depending on how well endowed you are, it could get awkward.
Dude, honestly, that's a tough one because I don't think I would. But then if I don't, do we both die? Or what happens?
No, just you die.
But then,
And he gets to keep his legs?
Yeah.
But
It's
then
like,
I
would you
could-
eat my legs?
and then
To keep you
but you'll
alive.
still survive too?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I mean, fuck it. We'll both survive, you know?
Wait. There's one key point here. Did your friend offer his legs? Because that's pretty fucked up.
Consent.
Yeah, did he have
No,
consent?
no.
Unconsensual.
I did not. Let's say,
cannibalism.
we're leaving a cave and a rock falls and, crushes my legs. And it's just in a weird position so they dangle off so he can eat them to
Well,
survive.
then, I mean, you wouldn't be able to use them anyway.
Yeah, in that case, it's
Well, I didn't-
much better.
I didn't say all I said is I survive.
Right, but I mean,
if
they
you're
were,
not going to be able to use them, I think it's only right
Yeah,
to contribute
yeah.
them to the cause.
I agree.
So you'll be able to live your life knowing that you ate my legs,
Yeah, forever grateful.
that I will have been inside of you,
That's
I will have entered you.
And then I would have shit you out.
yeah, right. And exited at some point.
I
So I
guess.
have gone through your ass.
Again? No.
Hey,
no.
hey, gives,
Whoa!
gives another meaning for the runs.
That was fucking awesome, man. I like that one. Oh, shit. That was really fucking clever.
He literally has a foot up your ass.
Back to back technicality.
I saw that one come back, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is kind of a random one. Would you
As
rather?
opposed to the others?
Yeah, true. Would you rather be in a room full of all the people you've wanted to have sex with, or be in a room full of all the people who wanted to have sex with you?
Ooh,
The second one, for sure.
I don't know. Think about
Think
people
about-
that never even told you.
Yeah,
Could get awkward.
that old man,
Yeah, right.
the old lady, your neighbors.
Well, that could get awkward, or
Your
it
friends.
could get pretty awesome.
Well, if you go with the ones that you wanted to have sex with, then
You would be in a room full of
yeah,
top
and,
quality hooch.
and if any of them wanted to have sex with you, you'd be winning.
Yeah, that's true.
If not, you would have a hard time living the rest of your life knowing what Dan wanted to do with me. After I gave him my legs.
No, I'd be kind of curious to know who.
And it wasn't enough meat. Shit.
That's what she said before.
All right. I don't know.
Okay,
man.
would you rather sit next to Carson Daly and Fred Durst or Britney Spears?
What the fuck?
It's an Eminem.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to hear him argue over who she gave head to first.
Okay.
Slim Shady, you a basehead.
Okay.
Okay, it's stupid now. All
Last one of the night.
Do it.
Would you rather be stranded out in Jurassic Park with no way out, or be trapped in the game Jumanji, having to be harassed by Robin Williams?
That's hilarious.
Clever.
No way out of Jumanji either, or
Yeah, you're stuck in
which
one
reality?
Yeah.
Do you want to stick with a bunch of dinosaurs, or do you want to stick with Robin Williams?
Oh my god.
Go ahead, Dan.
Robin Williams.
For sure.
Yeah.
Robin Williams is hilarious.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
Fucking Velociraptors trying to eat you is not.
That's
But if
not
you're
funny.
around him 24/7, he might get annoying.
Just imagine you'll start finding hairs everywhere.
I hear his stench is terrible. Like he just smelled terrible.
Like a dead guy, right?
Oh my god.
Too soon.
Not like that, but just when he was alive, he
He
like
had the
odor.
Like he didn't shower regularly or something.
Okay, so would it make a difference if it was zombie?
Zombie Robin Williams?
Yeah.
In Jumanji.
No, that's. Oh, well. I don't even know what.
he's doing shtick and his arm just falls off. Well, look at that! Whoa!
I'm imagining this image right now, and it's fucking amazing.
Zombie Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, does he get to be other characters? Or is he only Jumanji Robin Williams?
No, he can be any character from any of his
Is he
catalog of
himself
films.
at all? He's just characters for our entertainment.
Was he ever himself?
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Damn.
So why don't you start us off tonight, Dan? Your topic.
All right, cool. So I got something that's kind of interesting. I thought you guys might get a kick out of this. Do me a favor. Just name me off a couple of brands of ladies' perfume that come to mind.
Chanel number 5.
Chanel. right?
Rush.
Sure, yeah. Chanel's like one of the more famous ones, I think.
Dolce & Gabbana.
You know, yeah, Givenchy and Lancome and all this shit. But Chanel is one of the biggest ones, I think. And I read something that was kind of interesting about that. So, the fragrance itself is actually created by... Excuse me. I thought this was pretty fucking crazy, so much so that it makes me cough. But the fragrance itself is actually created from the anal glands of beavers. And so what happens is they get a chemical called castoreum, which is from the sacs of the beaver's anal glands, and it's a yellowish secretion that they use in combination with their urine to mark territory. And so what happens is they actually take this out and they use it as like the scent to mix in with other, alcohols and whatnot to be, part of the fragrance of a lot of really, really expensive and famous perfumes.
Some good smelling shit.
Yeah, I thought
Smells like beaver butt sex.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
So how many times have you ever smelled a beaver in the wild? They might smell fucking beautiful.
they might, right?
I'm wondering how much of this has to do with like pheromones and like a real primal kind of like. Oh,
Yeah.
I want to know
Yeah, exactly.
who figured this out. Who went and started extracting shit from a beaver, poking their hands around a beaver and be like,
Well,
Hey,
you know what?
this belongs on people's necks.
Probably for years, like beaver trappers and whatnot have been saying, these things smell beautiful.
Yeah.
And they send them to France and they're like, oh, parlez-vous français?
The French love
Merci.
stuff that smells shitty though, man. Like fucking
Yeah,
cheese.
yeah.
The stankier, the better.
Yeah. They say that when it's
Well, it
just
is,
like that
though.
raw scent is kind of leathery and they
And
compare it,
buxom.
And just beautiful.
yeah, they compare it to almost something real.
Do they extract this
Raw
gland
and harsh.
while the beaver is still alive? that's pretty fucked up. It's like
Is there any way to harvest it while they're alive? Like just maybe like squeezing their butt and getting the.
Real
You know,
tight.
the beaver's like fucking
They
our
do
prostate
actually-
exam.
I believe that they take it out with the animal still alive. I think that they can do that, or maybe they don't take the whole gland, but they just take the secretions and like take the. I think they do that.
Like a beaver farm. Oh.
Yeah.
So how do they stimulate
Wouldn't you
the
like
beaver?
to be a beaver farmer?
Anally probed.
Well, my
We
question
are
is, how do they
aliens.
actually stimulate these beavers to make them excrete?
I don't know. I mean, I guess they.
I'm gonna say they pinch them, man.
They-
Because
they-
I'm imagining
They
like
tease it a little, you know.
There's like
They
a,
tease it with their
there's not-
cock.
That was a blatant joke. I was trying to set it up.
those subtleties.
I was going to try and say, maybe they stimulate it. They rub the top of the beaver and something comes out.
The beaver.
On
know
an,
what-
on an unrelated
Do they
note,
have to shave the beaver first?
Oh, okay, that one we haven't done yet.
Yeah.
Dan and I have actually had beaver before,
You've eaten
We
beaver.
have eaten beaver meat, and it's delicious.
and we had it in
Really?
the form of beaver tacos.
Yes.
Okay. I'm guessing this is a Michigan thing.
It was
man.
in Tampa.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah, we had beaver meat, we had bear meat, lion meat,
Lion.
yeah,
Llama.
llama.
How was lion? That sounds illegal.
No?
They actually were like.
Well, they're out
like,
of business now.
protests
But
about it. But no, it was expensive. The lion was like what, like $20 for one taco of it.
yeah, something like that.
Holy crap!
But,
Shout out to Tony.
yeah, but to have it is like holy shit. I am the top of the fucking food chain. You know,
Yeah, I'm eating a fucking lion.
But
I'm eating the
honestly,
thing that eats everything else.
it wasn't that good.
But then we had to order the
All
beaver.
the weird ones.
When you saw the beaver, like, it's like I can go up to somebody literally and
Beaver
ask,
taco.
I like a beaver taco.
Ah,
And it was fucking good, dude. Like that was like the tenderest, most flavorful meat, I think.
really?
I thought you were gonna go somewhere else with this one.
Beaver.
It was like, oh, I went to Tampa, ate some beaver.
No, literally,
Yeah, yeah,
not figuratively.
yeah,
Literally, we ate beaver.
yeah. It was actually really good. I don't know. That was interesting. But then, so
Vagina.
tying that into what I was talking about. It's funny you should mention that because the FDA does list this extract as well as being a safe food additive, and so
Oh
they
my
consider
God.
this anal gland extract of the beaver as something that they could use, and it'll be just listed in the ingredients as natural flavoring, quote unquote.
Oh no!
So they typically use it.
You've been eating beaver
Yeah,
secretion
right?
for
Every-
years now.
Every fucking natural
That's it. My next
natural
beer,
flavoring.
my
from
next
now
beer
on.
will have beaver butt extract on it.
And you know what they do?
Secretion.
It might, because actually they use it as part of a substitute to vanilla extract.
Holy crap!
Oh no!
And,
No beaver crap.
and it is also sometimes used as part of raspberry or strawberry flavoring too.
I just had some Dread Pirate Roberts.
Didn't you have some raspberry pie before tonight, Jose?
Yeah.
Pie came from a beaver.
You know what? How could you get fucking raspberry off of beaver's anus?
It smells beautiful.
I don't know.
How can
Maybe
how
I
can
never
how
had
can
beaver.
hops sometimes taste piney?
Well, there you're talking about a plant and a plant versus a fruit and a mammal's ass.
But again, look at the Kopi
Where does the
Luwak.
mammal's ass come from? Comes from the earth. Where does the plant come from?
Come on.
Macro. I'm thinking macro.
Well, look
They're
at
all God's creations.
look at Kopi. Look at the Kopi Luwak, though.
Yeah, the coffee bean shit out by the.
Actually, we had some at the
Maple Bacon
at
Coffee
Maple
Porter.
Bacon. Like the Luwak was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I had it.
I
before.
drank cat
It's
shit.
delicious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was great.
it's called entailed. I didn't
En-
get it until like
No, it's entitled.
entitled.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was delicious. I mean, it had the two types of.
It was pretty good. When I
I
told
was
my
thinking of a
dad, you're-
joke. I was
my-
thinking of a joke, but I couldn't come up with one.
My dad was like, "What the fuck?"
You drank cat shit.
You should have been, what
drank
the shit?
Yeah.
I stood in line for an hour to drink cat,
Cat
shit.
Would you say it's the shit?
It was the shit.
It was pretty good. It was a good substitute for 2013 Hunapu. Didn't get to try that one. That shit flew.
But was that really shit though?
That shit was not really shit. I had some real shit.
So this brings us to our second beer of the night, which actually I brought. It's Nikolai Vorlov by Funky Buddha Brewing. It's a Russian Imperial Stout at 10.5%. It's big, bold, kind of like a bear hugging Russian wrestler, which is the cover of it.
Oh, like Nikolai Volkov, I believe, was the,
Right.
the wrestler's name.
Yeah,
No,
WWF.
Yeah.
Vorlov is the process that you do that when
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
extracting the grains, you put it back into the grain, into the mash tun.
Yeah.
So it filters
To
it
filter
out.
it.
Right, so they took Volkov but changed it to Vorlov, but it's
It's a
yeah.
double. It works on a couple levels.
Exactly.
Levels to this shit.
It's thick. You can get some oats in it, a little bit of lactose in it, with definitely chocolate, cocoa, and caramel. Or do you guys say caramel?
Caramel? No, I say caramel. To be
Caramel? Caramel?
Caramel.
What about you, Jose?
honest. Caramelo.
He says colonel.
The Nikolai.
He's like, fuck you, Dan.
The Nikolai.
I had to.
You wanted to just say it. Fuck you, Dan.
Yeah, the Nikolai Vorlov.
I had to do it, bro. Sorry. If you guys don't get that joke, listen to last week's episode.
Yeah. It's kind of a
Colonel
theme.
Clink.
Yeah.
Yeah, it tastes very similar to the Nib Smuggler.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It has a kind of the
Yeah.
same mouthfeel. It's kind of light for a Russian Imperial Stout.
I think it might be the lactose. The Nib Smuggler's a little bit more sweeter.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true. What's the ABV on this one again?
10.5.
It hides that pretty well. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hides it really well.
Cool. I enjoy it, man. It's not bad. It's very easy to drink.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't even imagine that this is 10. It doesn't have
Yeah,
that
right?
zing
It
on
feels like, I don't know, 8, 7, I don't know.
What topic you have for this week, Alex?
Well, last week we talked about the effects of technology on knowledge and people's ability to access it and whatnot. And I thought it was really interesting that earlier this week on Monday, rap artist from Atlanta, B.o.B. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, airplanes and whatnot. Well, it turns out he's a flat earther, and he's really adamant about it. He took a lot of pictures, posted a bunch of tweets.
Would you tell us what a flat earther is, for those who don't know?
So he believes that the earth is flat. He thinks that it's a conspiracy, and he thinks that NASA are the guardians of this conspiracy, preventing people.
Yeah, they believe
from,
that they put up a wall on on Antarctica, and that's why it keeps you from seeing the edge of the world.
Wow.
Like that they have a big wall in Antarctica of ice.
That's retarded.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme, And he ended up getting into a Twitter battle with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and it was hilarious.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
What did I say? Degrassi? Yeah, my bad.
Like the
Like the Nickelodeon show.
It's your week. It's your turn.
Yeah, right.
Nah, man, I've heard that one before though. I mean,
Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he actually told him, he's like, oh, this is why we think the Earth is round and whatever. And B.o.B. decided it was a good idea to hit him with a diss track called Flatline.
he's got a fucking beef. With this guy.
The best part is that or it gets better because Tyson's nephew Steven, who's apparently an aspiring rapper, responded with a diss track over Drake's back-to-back beat,
Oh, shit.
calling it Flat to Fact.
Wow. No shit.
Well, didn't he respond last night?
B.o.B. responded again?
No, Tyson.
Oh, yeah. Apparently he also said something, but
Yeah, I think he went on the nightly show.
Oh, I heard something about that. Yeah, but I didn't see the clip yet.
but yeah, so there you go. I mean, even to this day, with the internet and everything,
I know
people think
that,
the Earth is flat.
Oh man, it's just turtles all the way down.
Well, I'd say
I know Tila Tequila said the same thing recently. And of course, she's just such a knowledgeable person, right?
Right,
Takes
yeah.
what she says seriously.
You know what? They
I
should
think the
both have
smartest-
babies.
The smartest thing to come
have
out
flat
Tila
Earth babies.
Tequila's mouth is my dick.
Yeah.
No, never mind.
pause for awkward silence. And continue.
Wishful thinking.
I thought it was funny when you think about the Egyptian pharaoh Ptolemy, who measured the circumference of the earth.
Isn't Ptolemy Greek?
He was a pharaoh, but he was a Greek
Yeah,
general.
well,
Oh, for real? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just like Cleopatra, she was Greek as well.
Oh, okay.
but
The last of the Ptolemies.
yeah, Ptolemy,
go back to
whichever
school.
number it was,
Knowledge bomb.
I gotta go back to school apparently. Shit.
he measured it within to like I think it was a few hundred meters. He was correct.
Yeah,
Based
that's
off
incredible.
of like shadows and the time it takes, and I don't exactly know how he did it. It's something along those
It's
lines.
like, oh, I see that this is kind of curved, and if I extrapolate it out,
I just feel like if people went on boats, they'd like see it like, oh, look at the boat, go over the edge and come back, and it's still okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, B.o.B has this line where he's like, something about I don't know, I think it's flat. That's why my horizon's always rising. I don't know what the fuck that means. Look, I respect people's skepticism. Like, you could be skeptical. You don't have to believe everything you're told unless, you can verify it for yourself.
Unless you can take a fucking picture.
But so where does
And
Well,
you
no,
have
no, hold on.
multinational governments.
Well, hold on. The thing with the picture is that the picture is always going to be two-dimensional. It's a...
Except when you take a picture from the moon and you see a fucking circle.
yeah, and then that circle is changing.
Right, but it's a circle, but it has an edge.
Oh, so he's saying it's like a dish.
I don't know. To be quite honest, I have no idea what the fuck this guy's talking about.
but does he specify where his like western boundary is, where the world ends?
I'm
Curious, because then like if somebody on that edge keeps going to the west and then turns out to come up on the other side of what his flat like map in his head is, then it'll automatically prove him wrong.
Maybe they think that it's like a dimension, and then when you come here, it
You
like
just pop up over there.
Like a portal.
That's fucking retarded.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not 100% familiar with this. I didn't really want to waste my time.
Didn't
in
you
fucking
play? Didn't
investigating.
you play Mario? Didn't you play Mario Brothers, man? When you go out
The
one
little
side,
pipes.
That's right. Oh damn! What a moron.
Yeah, seriously.
Which is sad,
But,
cause I really liked one of his songs.
Yeah,
He's
has
had
some
a
good
couple
songs.
good ones.
Yeah.
He's had a couple.
Did you listen to The Watchers from him? His whole like Illuminati conspiracy song. He's got apparently this is like a theme with him. He's now the conspiracy nut rapper. So I think he had a little bit more credibility before he decided to go after the Earth's third dimension.
God.
He must have been smoking some good shit.
Yeah, Strange Clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
I mean, it's just like, you think about it, and you're like, what secret could, honestly.
Like, why would they hide that?
Because this is all a simulation and we live in a cage. I don't know, bro.
Okay,
I
but
don't
like,
know.
why would they lie and say it's round, even though in his opinion it isn't? What would they gain out of lying about that? Like, does he
I don't
say
know.
what they're
Well,
hiding?
yeah, actually, he totally disagrees with heliocentric theory. I think he says it
Really?
in his diss.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't believe the Earth is at the center. The sun is at the center
Really?
of the solar system.
I mean,
You know-
you could
you know
look
what's-
in the fucking sky and see other.
You know what's
Wow.
fucked up? 500 years ago, he would not been the guy burning at the stake.
Isn't that crazy though? It's almost like we're regressing. Like I really think that we're kind of savages, to be honest.
I think at 500 years ago, he probably he still would
Well, a
have
little
been
bit
looked
more.
at crazy.
No, 1500. That's around Copernicus. Copernicus is only getting his
That's
Copernicus?
Columbus.
Well, who am I thinking? I'm thinking of Galileo. Yeah, This is around.
That was way before.
Yeah, Copernicus is what, like 13 something. But yeah, but still, Galileo got a house arrest for talking about
Yeah.
the.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So I don't think he would have been ostracized for his views at the time. I think
No, he might have been praised. Like, yes, you're a good scientist.
a rapper and a scientist.
But can we look at it like this to see how far science has come to the point that people can name by face and by sight, they can name who an astrophysicist is.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. My thing with the like I said, I respect people's skepticism. I think that that a lot of people though take science on faith, as ironic as that sounds. I mean, it's not like we go out there and we do the test for ourselves.
Well, that's absolutely sure.
We can do the test for ourselves, which is what makes it science. But not a lot of people actually put forth the effort to verify it for themselves.
Well, it's like and they say how hot the sun is. Well, they've
Yeah.
never measured the temperature of the sun, so we all kind of take based on
Silly,
faith.
it's
Well,
at 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's supposed to be like spectrography, right? Like depending on the color that it's emitting to this lens
yeah,
is
yeah.
how hot it is or whatever. I don't really know.
Now, here's the other thing. Neil deGrasse Tyson has been catching a lot of shit lately for what he's been saying about. He's been catching a lot of shit for debunking Star Wars.
Oh, what an asshole!
All the shit.
Ruining our good time.
So what if this is just Bob's way of B.o.B.'s way of?
It works.
Well, no, that's what he calls himself in some of his songs.
Oh, for real? All
I
right.
think his real name is Bob, and then it's
Bobby Ray Charles.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Flat Earth Bob.
And
Bobby Flatter.
like, what if he's just trolling everybody? Like, this is just a joke. He's like, I can't believe people are fucking talking about this shit.
Well, I mean, yeah, nothing is real, right? This is all. It's all a performance, anyways.
You took it to another level. So that brings us to our next topic. I'll do this one since we're still trying to get to our next beer. So this takes place in the Czech Republic, and the president right now was doing an interview, and you go take that, and he was asked by the Czech president. They have the president and the prime minister and there. The president has kind of like ceremonial powers, nothing that really has to deal with the law. And they asked, he happens to be pro-Russian, and they asked him something along the lines of, how would you deal with somebody who had opposing views of you with incoming refugees? What would you do to get a prime minister to back what you said? And he went out and said, speaking casually about his opponent, he said what he would do is in a truly free and democratic society, the only way you can get rid of somebody is by an election. And then he says, well, you can also get rid of them with a Kalashnikov.
Yeah, that's
Damn.
Now, if you guys don't know what a Kalashnikov is, it's
AK-47.
yeah, that's the company that makes
Automatat Kalashnikov
Yeah.
47,
Freaking
model
gangster.
47.
Automat Kalashnikova. I mean,
Wow. That dude is.
Hey, aren't they opening a
Yeah.
factory in West Palm
He
Beach?
died
Yeah, Palm
not
Beach.
too long ago. The inventor, I think. He
I
died
swear to God, I met somebody with that last name.
No,
When I worked in Miami
kidding.
Beach.
That's awesome.
Really?
Frankly, I'm a bigger fan of the 74, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I do like it better. I think bigger weapon. It looks cooler. I've never shot either one of them. Just to be clear.
I think you can do that at Aces in Doral.
I think you can
I
do
think
it.
they have
I think
Yeah,
you can
they
do it.
have them.
you
But
can rent one there.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But
I want to do that, man.
they have I'm actually going to go to the range tomorrow, but
I gotta work.
sucks for you.
Well, you going during the afternoon?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, there's no lines there.
All right.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising to hear somebody. It'd be like the equivalent here of like the Secretary of State saying, how can you get rid of the president? Well, you can vote him out or shoot him.
Fuck.
And it's kind of like,
Are we that far away from that? I don't know. But
I mean, I don't think they'd ever say anything like that. Even, I mean, like look at the State of the Union. How much the the right hates Obama. They still stand for him. They're still I don't want to stand for you, but I'll do it because
Because they're so patriotic to their country that even if they disagree with who the current president is, they're
I
like,
guess
you're
it's
still the
based-
president of my country.
you're not.
So-
I guess
We're not gonna
it
say you should
depends
shoot
on
him.
who you're talking about, because maybe nationally they don't really see it as shocking as if you would have said that here. But still, it's kind of like,
But it's also funny that they'd say that the Czech Republic would say, the president of the Czech Republic would, who has his ties to Russia, would say, yeah, let's use a Russian rifle. Out of any fucking rifle you could say.
it's definitely a message. I mean, I'm not too familiar with Czech politics, so maybe that's commonplace for them.
Well, they were split up after World War II,
Right.
going,
Yeah.
Well, Czechoslovakia split in like the early '90s, didn't it?
That's
well at the fall of the
Yeah.
because they were absorbed, they were
It was when
annexed by Nazi Germany, and then after the war they were taken over by the Soviet Union, and then after that they were split in half.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I guess you can say what you want to say, but there's certain things that because you're in the position that you are in, you shouldn't be like saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking," because you know what, you have that much power to actually,
Also, and if it happens, you're a prime suspect.
yeah.
But I can't even think of any other, any
What
U.S.
would like
politician.
what would
Real killers
motivate?
don't talk
No,
about
but
what
what
they
would
gonna do.
motivate him to do that? Like he could just be like, you can
Well,
vote him out.
it's been his his political arch nemesis for years. And they asked him, and he's like, yeah, you could vote him out in a democratic free society. You could, hold free elections, or you could use a Kalashnikov.
Damn.
It'd
I would be like
the equivalent
the opponent
of,
would like. Can you imagine the opponent looking at the TV and hearing him say that? He's like, "Oh,
okay. The
Oh,
closest
you
thing
could use
you'd
a
have
Smith &
is
Wesson.
what's his name? John McCain. Saying something like, so how would you like to be president? Oh, we could hold a free election, or we could use a Colt.
Jesus.
Yeah, that would never happen.
No.
You'd never hear them say something like that.
no," because you would never get voted in afterwards. So everybody would
Maybe,
be like,
And you'd
"Fuck
also
this."
be investigated by the Secret
Maybe-
Service and FBI.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's so unbelievable that he could say it, but here it's like, well,
Yeah.
you could definitely just plenty of guns, plenty of Colts to go around.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody would probably try it though. That's the other thing.
Yeah,
And you would get, and I mean, to an extent, you'd be blamed for that. So
That's true.
there's also thinking about that, like there was that rash of ISIS attacks, Paris and I forgot where else. It was a mall.
no, the mall was not Kenya. The mall was
No,
a
no,
year
Kenya
before.
had
No.
something
I'm talking
too.
about here. We had an attack. Some guy that he had pledged allegiance to ISIS or something before he decided to shoot up some people. Well, anyways, I thought it was interesting that maybe a few months before that, the news was always talking about lone wolves. Watch out for the lone wolves. Lone wolves. And I'm just like, come on. I mean, are you advertising?
I'm sure they
or-
already had the idea. I'm sure they already had the idea.
Well, it's
how long it would take to put that in the play?
No, it wouldn't take very long at all. I mean, you could. These are very.
Well, as soon as you send the message over.
We just made the NSA's watch list.
By the way, NSA, we love you guys at Beer Bros BS.
Beer Bros and BS does not sponsor any type of state-sponsored.
country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of
That's
liberty.
hilarious.
any type of terrorism, state-sponsored or religious terrorism. We support none of that.
America.
Fuck yeah.
And that brings me to the beer, actually.
And we're actually on our third beer of the night, which is Dan.
Yeah. So, speaking of America and fuck yeah, this is a beer made in America, and it's pretty good. So fuck yeah.
And what's it called?
And it's called Dark Lord.
All praise.
Dark Lord.
And
Of course it is.
this is from Three Floyds in Indiana. This is the 2015 edition of their Russian Imperial Stout. It's brewed with coffee, Mexican vanilla, Indian sugar. It's available only one day a year at the brewery, similar to how Hunapu is from Cigar City. I made a trade for it a while ago and have been holding on to it, and it's pretty awesome. It's 15% ABV. It's serious. It's thick. It's got that
Chocolatey and
chocolatey coffee kind of flavor. I have heard from some other people that if you let it age too long, that can go away and it could get kind of like a soy sauce kind of thing. Luckily, that hasn't happened to this one.
At all.
I think that
No,
we're
I think
drinking
that
it
is when
delicious.
you age it for like 4 years.
for like too long.
Yeah, 4 years. Like Marshall Zukov, I know there was one that we aged it for 4 years, and it got that like teriyaki.
Yeah, dude. And I think
Taste.
this is the
Well, that-
perfect like time to drink this beer.
I'd be interested in cooking some food in that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some beef.
Yeah, that would be excellent. Add it to a stew or something. Yeah. I've always been interested in
Cook
cooking.
Pao Zukov.
I always thought it would be cool to cook a chicken with like the Ghostface Killer beer too.
Actually, I was thinking
That
about
sounds
that
great.
because
Yeah.
you can't drink that thing straight.
No, you
like,
can't.
but if you add it
mix
to like
into add it to like a broth. and
no, or
something.
yellow rice.
Use
like
it to marinate the chicken.
Yeah, marinate it. It would
Marinate.
be fucking good. I think
yeah, it's
it'd probably
spicy
still be
chicken.
super spicy. But anyway, man, Dark Lord. So awesome beer. Basically, Three Floyds version of Hunapoo from Cigar City.
Did you pick it up at the?
Hey, it's quite the claim.
I
Which
mean,
one? Which one came out first?
Pretty sure Dark Lord is older.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it? I think
I
Hunapoo is
don't know.
older.
Settle this one,
I
internet.
think Hunapoo is like 2000s, like or early 1999. Like,
You know,
To be totally honest, I'm not too familiar with Cigar City's early days. I don't really
this
know.
the
my friend
oldest.
brought a bottle of the one of the first ones. It was just unlabeled and capped.
The oldest
Because
Dark
that's how
Lord.
they did it. They just you went to the
awful.
brewery and they would pour it out of their fermentation tanks and cap it right there and give it to you.
Really?
Nuts. That's
oh
nuts.
shit, that's awesome. The oldest Dark Lord, according to Beer Advocate, is from 2004,
Yes, I saw that.
and
I actually saw that on my beer cellar.
It's
Somebody
more or
was
less
selling-
that time too.
it's around the
Hunapoo.
same time.
Somebody was
Hunapoo-
selling,
Hunapoo's not from 04, right? It's more recent, is it?
No, it's older.
It is older?
It's around there, or might be a little bit older.
Okay, well then, awesome. So
But it's definitely if it's not older, it's like 2005, 2006. Like
yeah, but I mean, I'm not trying to say flavor-wise it's the same. I'm saying the fact that it's a once-a-year thing available. On
Their
Did you
big,
go-
their big release.
and it's their
did you
big-
go for this bottle?
No,
Like-
man, I got it from a trade. I gave up a Hunapoo. The dude gave me a Dark Lord and a 6-pack of Zombie Dust. So,
Oh, sick.
so
Wow.
I'm like, sure, yeah, fuck y'all, do it. Yeah. So yeah, man, I love this shit. It's really good. Tell me what you guys think?
This is fantastic. It's a
Yeah,
really
as
really
is-
heavy beer. Heavy duty.
Yeah, 15%, and it doesn't fuck around. I mean, just the label on the bottle should tell you it's not going to fuck around. It's not for.
Yeah, it's
I
a
love
pretty.
the artwork. The label art is amazing.
Yeah, it's a pretty like menacing looking druid.
Oh yeah,
Like,
it's got that demonic,
Yeah, he has antlers and a battle axe.
Yeah, I mean everything about it's like got
Crazy
that
armor.
that fucking I don't know,
Medieval.
death metal,
Yeah,
medieval
for sure.
looking
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
vibe.
they love that, man.
Yeah,
they love that
yeah.
at Three Floyds.
Yeah.
And the wax is dope too.
Yeah.
It's
Three
an
Floyds is
awesome
from
bottle.
where again?
Munster,
It's
Indiana.
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 Just outside of Chicago.
Yeah, and so this is 2015. This is with the maroon-ish colored wax. Yeah, man.
Maybe I could make.
Do
that.
they change the wax color
Yeah,
year
each
to year?
year it's a different color.
No kidding. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Maybe
Yeah,
I
'cause
could
I've seen
make
some
that
bottles
trip
online
if
that are
I-
blue.
I think that's. I could tell you right now what year the blue wax is. That might be the more recent one. I'll tell you right now.
A friend of mine, Nick, actually received
Blue
2
is actually
bottles of-
2014. It was the
Okay.
one before this.
Yeah, he received 2 bottles of Dark Lord for his birthday. So
Damn.
good for him.
That's awesome. Yeah, so blue was the year before. That was the 2014 one. The maroon was the 2015. The 2016, I don't remember what color they used. I think it was.
Well, 2016 hasn't come out yet.
No, you're right.
2016,
But they probably announced what.
I've been waiting for them to announce the day. I'm planning on attending that event.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, well, if I can get tickets, hopefully. I
it's
should be
in
town.
April 20.
I don't
it's
think
on
I can
April
make the
25th.
event, but
They already announced it.
Saturday, April 25th. Oh,
You
no,
sure that's not last year's?
This is last year.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It's been. I've
But I
been looking
think
at
they
that
do it-
website.
Alex is like, fuck.
I think they
I've
do it
been looking at that
every
website.
year the same day.
Well, it's always the weekend after
It's just like Hanapoo.
April 20th.
It's just like Hanapoo is always the daylight savings time.
Oh, I didn't know
Damn.
that.
And I was
It
just
was,
looking. Sorry, go.
No, I was just gonna say that it was
Like
always supposed
the
to be
spring
at the brewery.
forward.
This is interesting. I'm looking at the website for last year's Dark Lord Day, and I'm surprised, man. They had some like huge bands playing there too. Like, I mean, some pretty famous heavy metal bands. Corrosion of Conformity, Obituary, shit like that. So I'm like, wow, that's crazy that they would be playing a beer event. But damn, I guess if they're making that much money and bringing in that many people, it works out.
Yeah, they have to. I think looking at the website, they talk about how they have to split it up into
They have like groups.
groups.
Yeah. That's fucking crazy.
That's like Great American Beer Festival status.
Yeah, dude. That's just ridiculous.
So, what topic you have for us this week, Jose?
For this week, the topic I'm bringing to you guys is: have you heard about the Crash My Safari?
Yeah.
So how the Crash My Safari website works is that
Well, why don't you tell us for those who don't know?
okay. So the Crash, what's happening is that people are sending links through Twitter or through social media that directs you to a site that's called Crash My Safari. I believe it's called. But it's a website that you go to, and then upon opening on the Safari browser, which is the default browser for iPhones or a Macintosh, it will basically just reset your phone. It will lock up your phone, so you have to reboot. Like you just have to reboot it. But this
Dicks.
yeah, I know it's a dickish move, but also it's kind of a way to like notify, hey, look, you have a problem, and it's kind of, it's not actually a serious problem that you have to reboot your phone, so it's not as bad as like, oh, look, you have all your information exposed,
Or
type of
delete
deal,
everything
like
or something. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, good fun, like because most people what they do is that they say, oh, you have this security problem with your application, and then they're like, okay, if you don't, like, if they see that they don't have a response, they just like publicize it, which is kind of a dick move because then, you leave everybody else exposed to getting like your phone broken in or like getting your system hacked. But this one is just like a careless one, but it's just kind of surprising because it's such a stupid thing that I would expect like Apple to at least have tested, this before it goes out. I mean, we've been seeing like these type of errors more often. Like,
Oh yeah.
like I don't know what's happening to the software industry. Where like, do you do any like of these type of testing like before you actually?
I think they
release?
just rush their products out there without doing as much testing as they
Well,
used to.
they definitely have the betas out there.
Yeah, but actually, it's funny. This reminds me of something else. You're talking about how it's just kind of like a fun little prank. But I remember seeing one years ago on my computer. Somebody's like, "Hey, check it out, free cup holder," and you click the link and it opens your disk drive.
Oh. No, well,
Pretty funny.
yeah.
It's a good
That
one.
must be quite a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
I remember on AIM getting the laughing virus, where like it was just a bunch of happy faces, a bunch of pop-up windows of happy faces, and you couldn't close them all, and just fucking you'd have to reset your computer.
That's what that was. I mean, I have to admit that I wanted to shorten that link to that website and just start sending out to all my friends and family. But I know I'd get it back, and I know myself. I'm curious as fuck. I'd want to open that up.
For real?
I mean, you
I
can look at
never
it.
click links in like group chats. I just don't. I wait till they're verified, till people are like, "Oh, that was funny. That was funny." I was like, "All right, fine."
Challenge accepted.
No, I mean, it's not
In our group message, I'm gonna text these guys first and be like, I'm gonna send a link. Just say how awesome it is. I can't believe that happened.
That's the thing. You can't be. You got to be specific. If
Yeah.
you're vague, I'm like,
Yeah.
You got to be like, "Oh, look at this chicken wearing pants." And be like, "Oh, all right."
What is this dog doing backflips?
Yeah,
And
if
I'm
you
like,
just
LOL,
go-
that's awesome.
If you just go LOL, check this out, link. I'm not gonna click on it.
Yes, you will.
I probably would.
Yeah, if I said you LOL, like, check this out, you'd be like, fuck, let me see this shit now.
You know what,
I don't care what I'm doing now.
You know, I probably would. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
And same thing with me. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, what is it?
Yeah, because I'm always wanting to be on top of shit. So it's like I would probably look at it. I actually wanted to go to the page myself just to see.
Like, what the fuck happened to your... I don't have
Even
an
though
iPhone.
I know it's gonna fuck it up.
But-
I still kind of wanted to do it. Whatever. Yeah.
So with this, it brings us to our final segment of the show. What burns your bacon? Since everyone else is trying to finish their beers, I want to rush them. I'll go first. This week, what burns my bacon? We haven't done it in a while. Jesus.
Excuse me. Sorry.
That was the neighbor's yak.
That was awesome. Well, it looks like that one felt really good. It came from deep within, so I think it's going to clear up all that shit.
That's what you get for eating my legs. But this week, what burns my bacon? I've been going back to the gym this year. I've been a few times, and I don't really consider myself a extremely anal person, but I go to LA Fitness, and they have an app where you use your you check in when you get there. Instead of having the little card that they scan your phone. A lot of the times when you go there, they don't, the scanner doesn't work. There's, hey, just go in. And when you do go, they, it shows up on the app how many times you go, this and that. And I hate when I don't
When you
get
don't
my
like, the
check-ins.
credit, yeah.
Yeah, I want my damn check-ins.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
So that
But then
burns my
theoretically, you're getting like a free session, right?
Well, you pay per month,
Oh, okay.
so it doesn't matter to them.
Oh, okay.
But damn it, LA Fitness, I want my damn check-ins.
You go to the one over by the movies?
I go to
Chemical.
whichever one,
Okay.
whoever's working out, and go with them. Alex,
What's your
Popo.
typical routine like? What do you do?
30 to 35 minutes of cardio,
Look, treadmill or what?
bike,
Okay.
and then I'll do. We'll work out back, shoulders, chest, legs, something, and then we'll go back. Either end it with like another 15, 20 minutes on the
The bike again?
on the bike, or
Yeah.
or do the sauna.
Oh, true.
And that shit is fucking crazy.
I mean, you switch your balls out, but that's good.
Holy shit!
Yeah, the
Yeah.
sauna's great after a workout.
Holy shit! The first time I did that, that was an experience.
Gets you tired, though.
Fuck yeah, it gets you
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah.
You see?
You might fall asleep inside there.
Yeah, that's not good.
Well, no, I usually go at night, so they're trying to kick everyone out. So
Oh, yeah.
you fucking fit in where you can. Hello, all right, back. What happened to my mic? Well, that
You
brings
see,
us.
it's a sauna.
Yeah, it's a sauna. The mic was in there too. We're on our final beer of the night, and what a fucking beer to end the night on. Yeah,
Absolutely. Coming in from the city of Santa Rosa in Sonoma, California, at 100 IBUs, weighing it at 8% alcohol by volume, Pliny the Elder.
Wow, just that smell.
Yeah, isn't it fantastic? Yeah, it's just
That's very, very good.
yes.
Oof,
I mean,
Jesus.
it features Centennial, CTZ, Amarillo, and Simcoe hops. The malts that are included are actually a matter of debate. I don't think it's ever actually been released. The story behind it is that one of the founding brewers at Russian River Brewing, the brewers of Pliny the Elder, actually had a competition where they wanted people to bring in double IPAs. And Russian River Brewing didn't actually have a double IPA at the time. So they went ahead with a recipe from one of their founding brewers. And that recipe is Pliny the Elder, named after the Roman historian who actually documented hops, or is considered to be one of the first to document hops.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It is great.
Yeah, the nose on it is fantastic. The clarity is second to
It's
none.
very hoppy. Like
The color is very opaque. I mean,
It's
I'm
opaque.
sorry,
I
not
think
opaque. It's very,
transparent.
very transparent.
Yeah, it's super
More so than
clean.
I thought.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's really light looking.
Pineapple, citrus.
Oh, dude, it's delicious.
funny
yeah,
you
it's
mention-
pretty
I don't get
fantastic.
any malts though. Like it's so hard to get any malts over this IBU.
I think it's actually one of the most, because I feel that this is one of the most balanced double IPAs. The first time I ever had it, I took the 16.9 ounce bottle to the face, and like for the first like 3-4 sips, I was kind of like, well, this is good, it's okay. I don't know if it's really worth the hype, but as I kept drinking it and I guess it warmed up a little, but it just kind of clicked that it was like, holy crap, this is just an incredibly balanced beer. Like this is just very, very well made. And one of the biggest things about Pliny, like that adds to its lore, is its limited distribution. I think it's only distributed like 250 miles from the brewery in Sonoma, and then they also have another distribution center in Colorado. But one of the reasons behind that, or the thinking, is that that you should drink this as fresh as possible, and
don't sit on Pliny, sit on eggs.
yeah, it's don't save Pliny for a rainy day. Pliny is for savoring, not for saving. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I read that in a book on vintaging. That's one of the other messages that they have. Don't sit on Pliny, sit on eggs.
yeah. This was bottled on December 22nd, so a little bit older than we probably would like it to be, but still not bad. Still pretty
Fucking
fantastic.
delicious.
Yeah, very, very balanced.
I mean, for me, it's up there as maybe top 2 or 3 IPAs that I've had. I mean,
Well, I haven't had
what's
Heady
the-
Topper for
I've
me.
What's
had,
the-
Heady Topper. I mean, I want to do a side by side with the two.
Oh, that would be great.
What's the
Drink
ABV on this?
8%. You don't feel like it's 8%
It
at
does
all.
Not
not
at all.
feel like 8.
No, you could.
It is
You could
hidden.
go through it real
It
nice.
feels like it's like a 6.
This is a really well made beer. I actually got this beer through a beer trade. with a guy in San Jose. Shout out to Marco, man. He really took care of me. He actually sent me a bunch of other Russian River stuff, a lot of their barrel-aged sours.
Ooh.
Hopefully we'll get to try some of those on the show later.
Yeah, hopefully, bro. Shit.
Wait, our Marco or?
No, not our Marco at all. I met this guy on the beer exchange. He was super interested in some maple bacon coffee porter.
Ooh.
Hooked him up, and I couldn't be happier, man. That guy really took care of me. He also sent me some modern time stuff out of San Diego.
That's
It was
amazing.
one of the best trades. Can't wait to get that guy some Last Snow, man.
Ooh. Yeah.
Can have
I
as
got
much
to
of it
hit
as
up
he
my
wants.
boy in Indiana. This dude, Dustin. I don't know if he listens to the show, but I'll send him the link
He
to
should.
this one. 'Cause
Yeah, he should.
And he hooks me up with a lot of Three Floyd shit. He hooked me up with some really good, what do you call these fucking sours? I don't remember the fucking brewery
Talking
now.
about Cascade.
No, it was something. Oh shit, what is it called? Oh my gosh, it wasn't New Glarus, but it was.
New Glarus is great. I've had some of their stuff.
I love their stuff, but it wasn't that. It was a different one. I
They're
just
from
can't
Wisconsin,
remember.
right?
I think so, but it wasn't that one. There was another one. It was.
Pipeworks.
It might have been.
Pipeworks is pretty big in Chicago.
Well, we'll come back to you.
Yeah, it might have been that one, bro. And I mean,
Pipeworks is pretty dope too.
Yeah,
I actually have their
yeah.
Citra Ninja that I'm hoping to bring onto the show one day too.
So, Jose, what burns your bacon?
What burns my bacon is when people reference things that like popular trends, and they don't know what the actual meaning or definition or the story behind it. Like so, for instance, right now dabbing, people don't
yeah.
people don't know really that that's a drug reference. Like
What?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I understand the same thing they're talking. They talked about it on the Daily Show yesterday. Netflix and chill.
People think it's actually about watching movies.
Yeah, and they're talking about it all over the news. You know, especially in the Northeast because of the snowstorm, the blizzard that went
They're
their
like,
way.
stay in and Netflix and chill.
What are you gonna do? Netflix and chill. Netflix and chill. And it's
Little
like
do they know.
they're just saying
That's
we're gonna
exactly
what's
fuck.
happening.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got another example.
I actually personally I prefer YouTube and chill.
For those on a tighter budget,
No, I'm just kidding. Really, it's Hulu and
HBO
And hang
Go
out.
and chill. Whoa.
Prime and chill.
Blockbuster and butt sex.
Prime. It's actually Prime and Pull Out.
Oh, dude, that reminds me because, at this new job that I'm at, there's a chick there named Felicia. So many people go, bye, Felicia,
Felicia.
at the end of the day. And I'm like, you guys know where that's from? They're like, oh, no, I saw it online. And I'm like, you fucking morons.
Yeah.
Like,
There were one that a few years ago. Remember planking?
yeah. Oh,
Like-
Jesus.
And or it's like, do you realize what you're doing? Like, no. Like,
Where is planking from? Isn't it just an exercise? I don't fucking know.
Well, yeah, it is an exercise.
but what the trend was like just to lay across as a plank board
Yeah.
on random things. But
Yeah.
that was because during
many?
the slave trade you had
Yeah.
to
How many could you fit in?
how many you can
A
fit
ship.
in
That I did not know.
You know what? Are you serious? Because I didn't actually know that either.
Yeah.
Well,
Really?
I mean, I knew that, but I did not know that they were connected. I didn't.
Yeah,
know
I
those
didn't
two
make that
things were
correlation.
connected. That is interesting.
It's great to work out your core,
I
but
really-
yeah, that's where it comes
I
from.
really never made that correlation before.
Because I never saw more than one person planking. I just saw them doing one at a time.
You got to get a stack of people doing it.
Then I would have been like, "Oh, slave ship, I get it."
Yeah.
Beer Bros and BS does not support the
Slave trade.
triangle slave trade of the 16, 17, and 1800s.
but it's that type of thing that everybody starts like dabbing and then they're like, oh, do you know where that comes from? No, like
No more dibbing, dabbing, hanging low key.
Yeah,
Shout
exactly.
out to Future.
Hey, man, B.o.B. and Future did some shit together.
Did they really? I gotta check that
Yeah,
out.
yeah. They got one. It's like I think one or two songs,
Sure, they've done some Purple Clouds.
Yeah.
but
Done quite a few,
Damn.
a few to make sure that the world's flat.
Future. I mean, yeah, they probably ended up flat. Future does a lot of fucking drugs, man.
yeah,
That guy is always talking about every fucking drug under the sun.
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
pray for good health for him.
Yeah. God bless Future Hendrix.
Just say, hope he finds whatever he's looking for.
Around Earth.
He's not gonna find that hanging out with B.o.B.
Yeah. You guys are left. Who wants to go first?
Yeah. So what burns my bacon is unintentional boners. I just it's like,
Excellent.
oh hey, can you pass me that stapler? Can you pass me that stapler? Oh, here you go. Oh, that's your fucking boner. Burn your bacon.
Damn, that's tremendous.
It doesn't
Holy
burn my
shit.
bacon though.
No. If I'm lucky, it's gonna burn hers.
Ooh. Jose gives the boners.
If it
Wait,
burns
wait.
if it burns your bacon, you should probably get that checked out. You probably got something. If it burns or drips, you should probably get it checked out.
Damn.
It burns.
Oh my god. Holy
You
shit.
should probably take something.
Dude, it's hard for me to come up with something to say here because
I
honestly,
gotta
I don't have really anything to complain about at the moment.
I like.
What do you have in mind?
When I say like, I mean burns my bacon. When people tell you things and it's like they're trying to cover up something, but it's like you were better off just not telling me that at all. Like it's like,
What do you mean?
Well, yeah. So here's the example.
Yeah.
It's like, oh hey, yeah, like I had to get a shot of penicillin, but it had nothing to do with STDs.
You're like, fuck you, of course it did, now that you mention it. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Don't you hate when that happens, Dan?
Actually, I totally hate when, my sex partners make me think that I'm going to have an STD. No. No. Yeah, they don't listen to it. She doesn't listen. I keep
Hey,
saying
anybody can
it
get a
in
yeast
plural
infection.
form. This is terrible. I should not do that.
Yeast infection in there. Yeast is like, bam, curveball. Like, where the fuck that come from? You're looking
Picture
around.
the yeast.
As long as it's not brewer's yeast.
Well, actually, it's the same yeast as the sour.
You know what he just said? It's like where you hope you say something, but you hope you don't get the response. That's what I wanted to hear.
It's got that funky smell,
Saison-y.
When you say saison, I think you mean farmhouse.
Oh, shit. No wonder French
seriously,
people
you
smell.
can get there's lactobacillus in female genitals.
All right.
To keep up the pH level balanced.
Jose _ Jr., everybody.
No wonder I love eating pussy so much.
It's a sour.
Just trying to get pH balanced.
There was like almost as soon as you said that, it got silent for a millisecond, and you were like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
And then he started laughing, and you were like,
Yep, exactly.
You were holding your breath, and you were like,
I was like, fuck. Did I just say that out loud? Oh, okay. Then I'm good.
"Don't worry, all of our listener won't. He won't care."
Our listener.
Yeah, shout out to our listener.
You know who you or she is.
This sour has been inoculated with vagina.
You're just throwing zingers tonight, just left and right, Jose.
Jose's on fire
Yeah,
today.
right?
Jesus.
It's like he burned his bacon. So, unfortunately, I have to ask you guys, what was your favorite beer of the night?
Oh,
Jesus Christ. This is a tough one.
yeah,
man.
really tough.
Honestly, between the last two, between Dark Lord and Pliny for me, they're just both so different, man. It's hard to really pick one. I guess personally, just based on styles, I think Dark Lord is better. But both of them are fucking awesome. All of them are awesome. But then I think the last two are like a step above. And I prefer Dark Lord.
Alex?
Man,
Oh,
this is hard.
I didn't get to read the thing, Jose.
Oh, do you
Is
want
it
to
too
read
late?
Wait, you know what? Jump on it now. Jump
Yeah,
on it
yeah,
now.
that's a good idea. That's a good
Bring
idea.
it up.
But speaking of, beers that we like, there's one that we've heard about that we might need to try in the future.
It has a great name.
Well, we talked about this beer in the last episode. Jose brought it up. It was a cock ale where they put a rooster, into a barrel and then age it. So this is from the 17th century English recipe, 1677 to be exact. And this is exactly what it says, and I'm reading this verbatim with commas and everything, semicolons. To make cock ale, take 8 gallons of ale, take a cock and boil him well. Then take 4 pounds of raisins of the sun, well stoned.
Raisins of the sun.
2 or 3 nutmegs.
Or 3.
3 or 4 flakes of mace.
What is mace?
Like Puff Daddy's. I thought they were gonna talk about like Puff Daddy's boy. Yeah.
Like he's ashy. Super ashy. Get
3 or 4 flakes.
from him.
Half a pound of dates. And then beat these all in a mortar
You gotta beat the cock. Beat the cock.
and put to them 2 quarts of the best sack.
What?
And sack is capitalized.
Whose sack is this? Is someone's sack?
And when the ale hath done working, put these in and stop it close 6 or 7 days, and then bottle it. And a month after, you may drink it. And that, ladies and gents, is how you make cock ale, according to 17th century English.
We may or may not need to try this out at some point.
Yeah, you want to drink cock ale, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I would.
I would call it the unintentional boner.
It's amazing.
You call it a BPA.
A BPA.
Boner
Boner
PA.
pale ale.
Oh,
Pale ale.
yeah. It's awesome. It's a real stiff drink.
Yeah, that's a good one. Nothing wrong with
Mouthfeel
it?
on it.
Huh?
The mouthfeel on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It'll be
How's that
heavy and
cock
thick.
mouth for you?
It tastes very cocky.
Make sure that the bottle you put it in has a real clean shaft.
Yeah.
Make sure it's been aged.
Over
want a
18.
young one.
Cut the tip off a little.
Oh, okay.
Nobody likes an infected cock ale.
Oh God.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it burns. And it burns my bacon.
Okay, so we're back to everyone's favorite beer. So Dan said Dark Lord. Alex?
You know, I've had Pliny before. It's a hell of a beer. For me, I guess it's gonna be between Dark Lord and Sardo Numspa. Sardo Numspa never really tasted anything quite like that. It was pretty cool. Dark Lord was definitely a very big, bold beer, deserving of its own day and festival, no doubt.
For sure.
So what's your final 3 Floyds?
Yeah, I'll take Dark Lord.
You know, it's very hard because I believe that they're all into their own category. Like the Sardo Numspa is in its own category, like a dessert, like Imperial Stout. Nikola Vorloff is like an Imperial Milk Stout. The Dark Lord, it's just like a barrel aged Imperial Stout, and the Pliny's an amazing IPA. I mean, they're all very good on their own. But I think that, you know what, I don't see very much like dessert beers that are done well. Usually dessert beers are either too sweet or like, but this one is actually very like, it's very, very well done where it's balanced and it's not like it just rushes like, oh look, it's a ton of like chocolate at your face. It's very
You like the chocolate in your face. We'll make you a chocolate cocktail.
oh, I'll call it the BBC. It's a big black cock ale.
We got that. You didn't have to say it.
Right? Like,
Dude, that's
in case there was any
fucking
mystery.
You're supposed to always leave them wondering.
Dude, that's fucking awesome. Yes.
So I'm gonna say the Sarda Numspa is actually very good.
So is that your pick?
That would be my pick. I mean, Dark Lord is very good too. So, I mean, in the end, I do like Dark Lord better, but I'd like to give a shout out to Sardo Numspa.
Yeah,
also.
Sardo Numspa is definitely a flavor bomb.
Oh yeah, bro, really good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I have to go with Dark Lord.
Yeah, Dark Lord.
It's kind of it's deserving of its own day. So,
Yeah, I
like
mean,
said,
most of these beers too don't have their own day. Like maybe if we compared Dark Lord to Hanapu, I don't know.
I would love to get some Pliny the Younger one day.
Oh,
That
yeah.
would be quite
Oh,
an
my
experience.
So explain to the listener what the difference is between the younger and the elder.
Right. So Pliny the Elder is a double IPA, and Pliny the Younger, right, which is actually in historical context is his nephew, whom he raised as a son, is a triple IPA. And Russian River boasts that it's almost a true triple IPA in the sense that it uses triple the amount of hops that are used in Pliny the Elder.
Damn.
And it's released on draft only. Once a year at the brewery in Santa Rosa, Sonoma, California,
Damn.
and it's that is a beer deserving of its own day as well. I've actually heard that it gets a little bit of distribution though, and you'll find it at some brew pubs in the area also.
Oh wow. But it's only in kegs.
Only in kegs. You'll never find the bottle of it, and if you do, you're getting ripped off.
Wow. Damn.
so that brings us to a close tonight. As always, you can remember you can find everything on Facebook, facebook.com/BeerBrosBS. You can find us also on Twitter and Instagram at BeerBrosBS. Also, we're on Untappd, where we rank all of our beers. Email us any of your questions, ideas, beerbrosbs@gmail.com. So always you can find everything on our website, beerbrosbs.com. You can find our podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, and
Podcast Addict.
as always, I'm Dave the Big Librarian.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
That's
Well,
Jose.
that's Jose.
Oh yeah, Jose and Alex over here.
Oh, Jose.
Jose's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, man. and
Sorry,
I'm
we
Dan.
had pretty big beers today.
So yeah, Dan, Dave, Jose, Alex. That's all of us here at Beer Bros BS.
All right, good night, guys.
Good night.
Cheers. Don't break the glass, please.
Son of a bitch.